Hungry Kid Lim. We will be getting into the bans and picks right now because it's game number 2, match number 2 between ASUS Fate and the Saigon Fantastic 5.
Yeah, the last game of the night, guys, gonna end off on a very strong note. The first game of the series, no slouch, however, very great methodical play by SF5, who was trailing by quite a bit, then had like a eureka moment, and then they decided, you know what we could do with Ezreal? Push the side lanes and then play the macro game, and they did that to perfection, and I really applaud SF5 for that.
It's more of what Ezreal can do.
Yeah.
Send out true shot barrages every 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, with the Mystic Shot and the 40% CDR, as our observer showed us, that game was such an amazing strategic play. And with the Kalista being let through here from Minus, oh my god.
Oh.
SF5 gonna be very happy with that pickup.
I wouldn't be surprised with a Pantheon pick in the jungle that we might see this game coming out from Jinky from SF5 as well. ASUS Fate here have really a lot on their backs. We were talking about it just earlier. I'm hoping to see the patented ASUS Fate early to mid-game team comp end the game in 25 to 28 minutes. Against SF5, that's going to be a very tall order, but I think it's still possible
And
knowing ASUS Fate.
More so now than ever, because they picked up the Kalista, which is an insanely high-scaling champion. The moment she hits those 3 items, Hurricanes, into that
Hurricane, usually 1 damage item is probably
That's probably the point where you go, oh man, she's arrived. The damage queen Kalista.
The vengeful spirit.
She's been 100% pick and ban tonight, which is quite impressive, I think.
Yeah.
Even, you know, we haven't seen this level of popularity ever since, you know, Season 4 Kassadin, Season 3 Kassadin.
How about Season 2 Irelia?
Yeah, Season 2 Irelia was pretty broken as well. Speaking of Irelia, ASUS Fate hovered over that for a bit. Shady might have wanted it, but instead went for that safe Janna pick. Not too bad. Taking that away from Uzi, who had a rather spectacular Janna game the previous game.
Yeah, Janna Lee Sin kind of shows nothing basically. Just very good overall versatile picks. Can go to one of those really Zerg kind of team comps if you run the Sivir in it. At the same time, ASUS Fate has just a lot of tricks up their sleeves. Let's take a look what SF5 have now. Rumble and Thresh.
Should be the Thresh here, considering Thresh Kalista is like the strongest bot lane ever in terms of re-engaging and escaping. You can do that leapfrog thing.
It's just fated. It's so fated.
It is a fated bot lane. And with that Rumble here for ZZ, he had a massive showing on that Lissandra. Despite being camped and killed often in lane, he showed up big to fights now. Something he could possibly emulate with this Rumble here.
Yeah, actually leaving the Lissandra open is a very interesting kind of position that ASUS Fate is left in, because right now SF5 are like, okay, I dare you to pick Lissandra here, because what I can do is Optimus can easily just pick up Lissandra in the mid lane and it becomes just a terror, because Optimus is just known to play basically every type of mage.
Yeah, we talked about this, you know, even in the early days when they went up against AHQ, you never knew what Optimus was going to play. He had a massive champion pool, and now bringing it up to this updated season rather, saving the last 2 picks for them.
Locks in the Hecarim.
Hecarim top lane. There we go. He's even had the teleport and the ignite ready.
Yeah,
Shady
there we go.
gonna embrace his inner Hecarim top lane. I like this.
Man, I mean, okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. The next Shadow Isles champion is gonna be a staple pick.
Yeah,
we've seen Lucian, technically a Shadows Isle champion because his lore came from there.
I want to say Thresh as well.
Yeah, Thresh, Lucian, Kalista.
Yeah,
that's been the order.
And then now Hecarim, he's come and gone, and he's back again.
The thing is that, you know, see, the champions from the Shadow Isles always have this thirst for vengeance.
Vengeance is what ASUS Fate will be looking to bring to this game,
and they'll just be coming back over to haunt your dreams again and again.
Now they've picked up that Sivir to round out this very scary movement speed composition you have with the Janna.
Like I said, not surprised to see ASUS Fate pick up that Zerg composition. Surprised actually to see the Hecarim land on in, but it fits the comp.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Hecarim a bit later on, but now
I said
talk about the Lissandra. Optimus, his Lissandra is open, his Orianna is open.
He's probably not going to pick the Kassadin right here, because, I mean, Kassadin...
This is the patch where Kassadin has hit a nerf.
A huge nerf. He does get buffed later on, and there we go, Lissandra, insta-lock-in. Okay, maybe not insta-lock, but I did expect this to happen if ASUS Fate left it open. And at the same time, Sejuani, I'm thinking about open junglers right now. Jarvan, Rek'Sai. I was quite surprised that SF5 Jinky did not pick up the Pantheon.
Nidalee is still open.
And Nidalee as well. And I actually thought that the Pantheon would fit really well with the Kalista, with the Thresh, with the Lissandra. go on, jump on in, and just obliterate someone instantly.
Yeah, and you have that crazy engage, pull the trigger in the form of the Grand Skyfall, and then follow it up with the onslaught of shadows here. Oriana would not be too bad of a pick as well. Could put the ball onto the Hecarim and speed him up. So a lot of buffs for this top laner here. Shady has to come up big or go home.
Yeah, he definitely has to. I mean, Shady here on the Hecarim will be one of those players to look out for. If he falls behind in lane, Hecarim has a very tough time of actually getting back on his horse here. You see what I did there?
You know, yeah, I saw what you did there. At this point in time, all puns are allowed through. I'm not gonna laugh at you. I'm not gonna point and scold you because it's getting late, guys. And the puns are what's gonna bring us through to the next level.
I mean, we've got the Soul Sisters. Okay, if only Thresh was a girl.
They're pretty spooky.
Yeah,
they're pretty spooky.
Man, I'm thinking of what other Shadow Isles champion hasn't really reared his head back, but that's a conversation best saved for another day.
Also, your previous statement, if only Thresh was a girl, Wolf 2015. I'm just gonna remember that, guys.
Sure, no problem.
Gonna screen cap that.
Cause Soul Sisters, you see. Soul Sisters. We need another like spectral lady to come onto the rift. But anyway, Rumble up against the Hecarim. This is something that we will have to talk about very, very soon, and it's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, my thoughts on this top lane Hecarim now. Most people go Teleport Ignite because you can use your E to run away.
Yeah.
It's a rather strong mobility spell.
The Rampage, I believe.
The Rampage, no, Rampage is the Q, I believe, actually.
Oh yeah, Rampage is the Q.
So using that will help you escape.
Devastating charge.
Yes, the Devastating Charge. Thank you. Helps you escape. And picking
Spirit of the Dredge is W, and Onslaught of Shadows is his
See guys, Wolf does his homework, he memorizes all these niche picks and all the abilities. If you see him on the street, just ask him. If he can't reply, he owes you a drink.
Yeah, I probably would. Just don't ask me about the champion passive, so I have not gotten to that level just yet.
So with this Ignite pickup, it does give him a lot of kill pressure against this Rumble. So at level 2, he could basically all in and force the Rumble to go out of lane, and then they can both teleport in at the same time, and there's always that kill pressure with the Lee Sin available. So if they snowball this Hecarim early, we could see a 20-minute game like you talked about, ASUS Fate style. And I think they've drafted a rather interesting composition here. It's point men in the sense that you put all your abilities on 1%, pray and hope for the best.
Oh man,
But it's in the top lane Hecarim instead of the jungle Rengar instead.
Yeah, possibly on the Lee Sin as well. That could be a thing. So we will have to see what might happen here. And talk about the fact that I actually, for some obsession of mine, try to remember every single champion skill.
Yeah.
Today, in school, my professor showed us his party trick, and his party trick was actually just to name. You give him a year, and he'll name every single congressman and woman in the United States Senate.
That's
so
rather
all 100 of them in any year.
Yeah, that's a rather intensive party trick.
So I'm like thinking, could my party trick be to name every single champion skill and write it on a whiteboard or something?
My party tricks are rather simple,
like opening a bottle with like your bare hands or
lighter
your teeth
fluid
or
in my hand, like fire, guys.
Cool.
Like simple stuff. Not I can name every congressman.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, we will have a video to show you about the Saigon Fantastic 5. So do take a look at this amazing highlight video. And there we go. SF5, of course. I would say arguably one of the favorites coming in on the initial stages of the GPL. They started off really rocky, but like you said, they've just kind of gotten that momentum in it, and what a fantastic game one they played earlier.
They are one of the few teams to actually take down the Taiwanese teams in their prime. So they took down HQ, I believe, and not many teams can boast that. ZZ in the top lane, the new kid on the block, the split Yushin jungle. Well, we've seen
he hasn't really shown his been on the roster for quite some time already.
He hasn't really been on the roster for a while. Minus, there we go, the poster boy of SF5.
Yeah.
I believe J-Storm went over to Vietnam and had a conversation with the team. And there you go, Optimus, the mid lane king himself. Only second, or rather, arguably, same level as SOFM. Both of these two very strong mid laners here. Great champion pools as well.
Yeah. I remember the big kind of random roster swaps that happened between SF5 and SAJ. We kind of brought into question how well, which was a stronger team, and it really proved that both of them, the roster swaps really helped both of them, even though there were a lot of like migrations in between, and all the new blood that got added in. I think a lot of the old veterans here really took up those leadership positions and really led the team to
the sister team
glory
system, just shaking all of that up, really helped them level and bring the teams themselves to a greater level of play.
I remember we even had some conspiracy theories why they swapped out.
Yeah.
Because they're like sister teams. What's the point of really swapping them? Is one team going to be the powerhouse team? Well, we thought wrong. Both teams were the powerhouse
to
teams.
shed some light on this, I believe it was just the Saigon organization, SF5 and SAJ, their head organization, decided to bring in Coach Lee, if you remember. And then being, of a rather strict background, the Korean culture is as well, just liking the sister team style of screaming against each other and practicing against each other. I think he brought that into SF5 and SAJ's bones itself.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think the original intent was to make the teams on even level so that they could improve together.
And they really improved together.
And look at where they are now. Best teams in their respective, not respective region because they come from the same region.
Yeah.
Best two teams in Vietnam.
That is true. The best two teams in Vietnam. Arguably, ASUS Fate will be looking to take that title away from SF5 though. If you draw 1-1, you can't call yourself the best team anymore.
You can't. And since both teams are in the same group, only one can come out victorious.
Only one can come out victorious. Well, two, considering it's 2 draws per group.
Yeah, it is. But one will come out ahead of each other.
Yes,
right?
that is true as well. One person will be first and the other one will be second. Math, casters can do math as well.
Yeah.
Very deep wards being placed here by ASUS Fate on the rib buff. They want to spot out where Jinky starts out. In response, he wards over the current ward.
It's a little bit of a cute move coming out there from Jinky. Of course, guys, you have to kind of figure out which Jinky we're referring to. This time it's of course the Sejuani.
Oh,
the
look,
dragon.
the dragon. It'll take about a couple of minutes to fly over.
1 minute.
Yeah, it will take about a minute to fly across.
Exactly 1 minute to fly across.
And then a minute after, it's gonna die.
Yeah.
Really sad dragon. So Jinky will start on the Krugs here. Vision not gonna spot him out, I believe. On the top lane. Oh, ZZ versus Shady. So it's gonna be standard lanes across the board here.
Yeah. I like the particle effects of Janna as well.
The new Janna changes the particles, looking very cool.
Very, very cool indeed. Oh. Wait a minute. Did Jinky just help leash for Minus and Uzi?
Yeah, Jinky did help leash for Minus and Uzi in that instance. So the experience went over to Minus. He's gonna hit level 2 first, and then he's gonna pay this if Mew finds him here.
Oh no, this is just not a good sign at all. This is gonna be first blood and possibly even a red buff going over to Jinky here. Actually waiting for the flash. Yikes.
Starting on a very strong start here, Mew in the jungle. ASUS Fate looking to take dominance. That's a great play by the Lee Sin to know that he could invade with the slow clear speed from Sejuani and really paid off in that instance. Now, this double buffed or rather single buff Lee Sin with the red buff will be looking to go over and secure his own red buff. So a 3 buff start looks to be in order for Mew here.
Okay. Knowing SF5, ASUS Fate, we might see a 4 buff start coming from Mew.
Yeah, it could be a 4 buff start here. Mew walking over, as you called it, Wolf.
Oh,
Jinky is gonna walk past this Lee Sin level 1. He's gonna get caught out so badly. The slow.
Tempest, Cripple, you've got the lot. Oh goodness. They're actually gonna go in Optimus here, level 3 as well.
He has no mana though.
Yeah, he is completely out of mana, and Jinky's still at level 1, just not the best plays ever. Wow, bottom lane, a huge fight coming out from ASUS Fate. Kalista and Thresh coming on in, gets the heal bait. Slay just jumps on in with the Eye of the Storm. The Death Sentence does manage to land. The kill goes over the Slay here. And that was just all-out aggression from both Minus and Uzi trying to trade back and forth there. Heal baits, out of storm baits, Ignite even landed there.
4 minutes in, 1,000 gold ahead is ASUS Fate, and it seems like that level 1 leash from Jinky did nothing to help Minus and Uzi in the lane. A very strong start here by the contenders themselves.
Yeah.
Mew has stolen the blue buff away from Jinky, and the Sejuani having a little trouble with the jungle now, especially that the fact that he's been taken very low. Level 1 only he has to clear and recall.
What's his XP? He is 3/4 the way to level 2, and like I said,
he's gonna need some help.
I don't want to say I called it, but I did call it. Mew here with the 4 buff start.
Yeah, Mew with the 4 buff start. Looks like Thresh will be heading to the jungle here to spot out this Lee Sin. Instead puts down a ward around Dragon now. A keyhole roaming into the jungle, gonna make life hell for Jinky. I think he's gonna be really mad about this. Nope.
Okay, there we go.
Doesn't find him there.
Man, if you actually prevent a jungler from clearing the little, the cinder beasts as well, wow. That's okay, that was just traversal right there. But as I was saying, if you actually even prevent your opposing jungler from clearing out the tiny minions in his own camps, that's just the saddest day for any jungler ever.
Yeah, he's so far behind now compared to this Lee Sin.
Like someone sent Jinky from SF5 a mystery gift or something.
Yeah, he's gonna be really sad about this. I think, guys, why me, guys? Why?
I told you! I don't want to play Sejuani, they always bully me!
Every solo queue game ever here in order for SF5 now. Minus taking the CS lead despite that one early test. I think there was just a misplay coming from Uzi, and Minus looking to come out strong as well in the bot lane. The scaling definitely in their favor compared to the Sivir being played by Slay, so not gonna be too worried about that.
Electro Harpoon's gonna land from the ZZ. Level 5 Rumble going up against a level 5 Hecarim with the Teleport Ignite, of course. Very aggressive summoner spell. Devastating Charge, as you mentioned, Hungry Kid. Able to actually allow Shady to get away.
Yeah, the wave is pushing up for Azizi.
And there we go, Devastating Charge being used now. Azizi will be able to flash away from this one. Needs to dodge the Sonic Wave. The Cripple is available. The knockout coming up from Jiggy. Azizi really getting killed right there. The Ignite was not enough to burn through Super Galaxy Rumble.
Yeah, very great micro there coming from Azizi. Using the Scrap Shield to mitigate the damage from the Rip Buff as well as the Resonating Strike Execute.
It was even the Danger Zone Scrap Shield there.
So really great play by Azizi there, denying the first gank. And the Ignite was used by Shady there, so one summoner spell down for one summoner spell. Yeah. A bit of a misplay there with the Devastating Charge, but round 2 here.
No way. Guys, calm down. I mean, ASUS Fate, this is...
Oh, there's a ward there. They spotted them out rotating over, so...
And
the Wolf Spirit as well.
But wow, I mean, when I said that ASUS Fate would just go all out and try to win the early to mid-game stages, I did not expect this.
Yeah, this is a bit of a ridiculous understatement here.
Man. Minus actually zoning out Slave very well here. Kalista kind of tethers on the cusp of being a very good solo lane champion as well. She needs to watch out.
That's because Kalista in herself is just a great lane bully because of the martial poise. You can jump around pretty easily to avoid most of Sivir's skill shots. The Boomerang Blade, if it doesn't connect, well, Minus has won the trade already.
You're right.
And with Uzi here threatening the hook every second, just walking forward, Slay and Akiho have no response.
Oh, that's a nice death sentence, and Akiho does get hit by the Pierce coming out from Minus.
Interesting that when he got hit with the crowd control, he decided to put the Eye of the Storm onto Slay so he could trade damage back instead of preventing and mitigating the damage on himself. So goes to show the style of play in this bot lane here.
We will have to see, of course. A lot of roaming coming out from Akiho here this entire game on that Janna. And there we go. Dragon being started up, 5-man strong. Level 6 being hit by all members of ASUS Fate outside of Akiho, of course. And Mio here. And there we will have Dragon actually slightly resetting, and first Dragon buff goes over to ASUS Fate,
and then
teleport comes out from Shady.
So you will get all that experience in the wave itself, and they get the Dragon for their effort, so...
It really shows how much they actually prioritize Dragon if they sent Shady all the way down and just like, hey, just don't fight us SF5, we'll let you have that teleport advantage for a good minute, for a few minutes here. Can Azizi actually make use of that? That's a totally different question altogether.
Level 6 will be hit by Jinky in a bit. That will be able to... That will mean that SF5 will be able to activate some aggression in terms of Glacial Prison and Equalizer. So I think that you'll be very happy that the hook connects once again.
Not much action happening off the flay there, but Akiho needs to watch out. Buff timers you call?
Yeah, buff don't belong to SF5 anymore. ASUS Fate have total control over all the blue and red buffs. Well, when I say all of the red buffs, more like one.
Another death sentence actually landing on Akiho, and look at that, the Sentinel proc coming out from both the auto attacks of Minus as well as Uzi, just chunking Akiho down
and that's what is winning them trades in this bot lane here. Yes, Slay with the Empowered Shield will be hitting for a bit more, but percentage damage is no laughing matter now. Jinky and Optimus sitting off the side.
Looking to get a flank.
The Ice Queen sisters? looking to find a fight for themselves.
They can't both be queens. Okay?
Queens of different regions, Wolf.
There's only one region.
There are different municipalities in Freljord.
I know, but there's only one
Technicality,
region.
I won on the technicality.
Only one region. Only one.
Now the blue buff of ASUS Fate will be going over to Jinky here. Well, that will mean that Mew as well as Jinky both have blue buffs of their own. Denying that away from Optimus is going to be very useful, as well as denying that away from Jinky is going to reduce his clear time much more. Home guards being completed onto Shady now.
First item.
And that is the general progression of
Yeah, it is.
builds for top name Hecarim nowadays. Jinky being taken very low by his red buff, manages to secure it though, so
Yes, I get my first buff, guys.
at 10 minutes and 30 seconds in, he gets his first buff.
This is a golf clap right there.
Yeah, that is a golf clap. Very unfortunate, but that is how the dice roll turns out sometimes in professional League of Legends.
Yeah. I wonder what was he trying to roll there? Charisma,
Dexterity, definitely.
dexterity, probably dexterity. Maybe luck.
Yeah, maybe luck.
He probably rolled a really low roll on luck.
The Dungeon Master definitely not a fan of
Nope.
Jinky this
Dungeon
game.
Master Mew, you're not a fan of
Yeah,
Jinky this
not
game.
a fan of this. Unimpressed Dungeon Master Mew.
Your quest has failed. Can't even take the Crux properly.
Trading in the top lane going heavily in favor of ZZ. That has to do with the
It's just the
Arm guard
matchup,
being
I feel.
completed.
Yeah.
as well as the itemization, Arm Guard being completed and the Haunting Guys. Those are two offensive and defensive items for this Rumble, whereas Home Guards doesn't really do much in a fair fight.
Yeah. ASUS Fate, kind of stopped their entire aggressive plan so far, so...
They have picked up a good lead, 700 gold here.
They
Optimus
do.
managed to sneak in,
Oh,
flashes in with the Frozen Tomb.
Wow, Onslaught of Shadows will be able to actually get Shady away from this one, so not only can Devastating Charge get you away from sticky situations, but Onslaught of Shadows can get you away from some icy situations.
Yeah,
as well.
that was a flash and two ultimates rather being used on the attempted kill. Whereas one ultimate only for Shady, which will come out relatively soon.
Onslaught of Shadows has just a ridiculous cooldown, I feel.
Yeah, it has a rather low cooldown of slightly under or slightly over 2 minutes, which is not too bad because it syncs up with your teleport rather well.
Yep. Indeed, it does. It will also sync up. Ooh, Slay here coming up big with that boomerang strike as well. The box being used there, and whoa, face call coming on in. Uzi, you are in a bunch of trouble here, and you definitely did not want to go in with the face call before Sejuani was even in the area.
And he tried to get the help in from Jinky, but the ricochet bouncing onto him took him down rather low. Now Slay and Akio are sticking around for a bit more action. They could dive this.
Are they going
Flash
to
and
though?
heal are available. Now with the appearance of Jinky, they should not dive this.
Yeah,
down.
I mean, they knew that Jinky was there. They had the Glacial Prison off of cooldown as well. Diving under the turret, getting frozen in place.
Yeah.
Nah, that watchtower will start damaging you a whole bunch.
The mid lane CS10 over his counterpart Jinky has established a good lead here. Going for the Scenes on Holy Grail, something we don't really see that much, but against a double AP composition or maybe even triple to a certain point with Sejuani. Value buy.
Yeah.
Good itemization there from Jinky.
Needs to know when to pick up those magic resistance items. Athenes may not be the most efficient in terms of mana regeneration now, but still.
Well, the thing is that ASUS Fate has been securing a lot of blue buffs, so in terms of mana, he's pretty set on that front. He just needs to survive and keep farming to the point where he hits that, oh my goodness, that shockwave killed me moment.
And again, Mio, you coming on in, kicks Azizi right into the face. Onslaught of Shadows coming on in, actually chasing Azizi the wrong way, because how the fear works right now, it runs away from the champion. So what Shady should have done in that instance was actually Onslaught of Shadows towards the opposing turret so that Rumble will walk the other way.
I have to think they misplayed their game. They used the Dragon's Rage into the wall when they could have shoved him away from the Equalizer. It was a great play by Azizi to fight on the Equalizer.
Oh, another fight coming out. Jinky is the one that's getting taken down. They trade Uzi for this one, and Azizi actually jumping on in with the teleport. Does not get an assist, but Optimus here in the mid lane does pick up a kill onto Jinky. I believe Shockwave was used, but to really not much effect at all.
Yeah,
Dragon is now alive as well.
Dragon is alive without the equalizer though. Shouldn't be a fight, but members of ASUS Fate are not grouped up here,
No.
so should be without contest. Jinky securing one of Dragon or one jungle objective, finally rather.
Hey, Epic Monster #1 going over to the Saigon Fantastic 5. Of course, Dragon is tied up 1 apiece onto both sides, and still, SF5 do not have ownership of their own blue buff. ASUS Fate actually, to be very honest with you here, losing quite a bit of momentum off their early game aggression.
Yeah, a couple of misplays here and there, falling behind. I think that has to do with the vision just not going in their favor, as well as the mini skirmishes and mechanics just falling apart for them.
Still keeping the goal lead though.
Keeping the goal lead is ASUS Fate indeed. Lanes across the board though, doing very well for SF5. They're either keeping up or ahead in CS. Even to a certain point, Jinky as well has climbed his way back into the game, being rather relevant now.
Well, they really hate Azizi, don't they?
It is the 3rd gank, I believe, or the 4th gank onto Azizi this game. Now they're sending 3 members.
Yeah,
You can't go wrong with 3 member
if
ganks.
2 didn't work, a 3rd one. Well, they're actually waiting for Shady's Onslaught of Shadows to come back up.
Waiting indeed with the Onslaught of Shadows and Devastating Charge. They can
8 more
displace
seconds.
Azizi very far away from his turret. And with the Dragon's Rage as well, Monsoon.
Wow. 30 seconds they've been waiting in that brush here. Finally starting to recall. Azizi is, of course, this
Just rather
time
wary.
very wary. Jinky picking up his blue buff.
Jinky has picked up that blasting one, so it looks to be the Athenes into the death cap. Very season 3 build. Turret in the bot lane goes down.
Goes down when Minus and Uzi was
A
actually
bit late
there.
to the party, I
Yeah, a
believe.
little bit too late there.
They're going for the early Bloodthirster instead of the Ruinous Hurricane, so interesting adaptation as compared to what we normally see.
Maybe it's just because they didn't win the lane as hard, and I think Runan's Hurricane is one of the most expensive attack speed items behind Phantom Dancer.
Oh, is he overextending a bit too much? There's Shady deciding against jumping right on into that rumble.
But they really do hate Azizi, don't they?
There's no vision on the river though, but they will see
A lot of pings going on.
a lot of pings.
Observer showing us that there's actually not a lot of information on both sides in this entire map area. 17 minutes into this game, I honestly expected this game to be a lot more quick paced.
Especially with the early action that was put down by
Exactly.
ASUS Fate as well. Now Mio, he's been sitting in this brush rider for quite a while. He might meet Uzi in a bit. Instead walks over, gets the kick down, or will he?
No, he does not. Azizi actually had his flash there. They could have burnt it quite easily there. Slay and Akiho now actually traversing to the middle here. Picks up the 2 early turrets, one in the bot as well as the one in the middle. Extending their gold lead to about 2.5 thousand gold now, Hungry Kid. What do you think they're going to do next? Because Dragon is no longer an objective that they can contest. Are they going to constantly focus on the ZZ again?
They should basically utilize the fast push team fight composition that they can draw. So make use of the underhand, make use of the command dissonance to rotate around the map with the gold lead that they have now. The top outer turret is still available, so if they group up and siege that down, it could be the next objective for them. And if SF5 puts up a resistance, ASUS Fate can just force the fight, use the Onslaught of Shadows, use the On the Hunt, and just straight off pick a fight.
Yeah, they can easily reposition themselves. Oh, devastating charge being used here. Shady does get hit by the Electro Harpoon. Interestingly, if Rumble actually hits Hecarim with an Electro Harpoon, his devastating charge damage goes down quite significantly as well, because it kind of ramps up based on how fast your movement speed
that
is.
really does. Especially if you hit him with both Electro Harpoons.
Does it stack?
Yeah, it does stack the slow across.
Ah,
As you
there
can
we
see now, moving very slowly. He has to use the Onslaught of Shadows to escape Jinky. Coming up for the gang, the equalizer being blown. Not finding the kill though.
Was that a Fate's call?
Fate's call was being blown.
Huh. Oh wow, Optimus taking so much damage from Slay there. The chase is on, the flash has gone. On the hunt is Pop, and so is Hugh. Slay is gonna go down as well as Optimus. They trade 1-for-1 there. Summoners in... Oh well, everyone blew everything basically.
Yeah, everyone blew every summoner, and a big ultimate from both sides being used there. At the end, it is Mew who will come down and clean up all that CS and say, thank goodness, it's mine now. I get some farm. time for the jungler to get even more ahead. And speaking of ahead, he went for that side stone, looking to build into what appears to be a phage.
Is it gonna be a frozen mallet? No, right?
Hopefully not, considering their composition relies heavily on this Lee Sin being a frontline tank. So Aegis, maybe a Randuin's Omen or something of the like will be rather useful. Aegis in this case
Brutalizer into Aegis maybe.
Yeah, Brutalizer into Aegis would be the
Get
best
a
case
cooldown
scenario.
reduction.
They have a lot of AoE splash damage here.
They do.
SF5, so you need to itemize a lot more team-wide magic resistance.
Also, I noticed that Jinky here on the side of ASUS Fate, of course, Orianna picking up the elixir as well. Off from the side, I believe. Noticed that she did pick up the
early
elixir.
pickup of elixir of sorcery will allow her to trade a lot more effectively and push harder.
Yeah.
Because every couple of seconds you get true damage auto attack proc, and I think that's what has been
setting up for the
her
dragon fight as well.
That has been allowing her to just shove up and establish a dominance, taking the CS lead.
Oh, Akiho. Oh, Jinky actually taking quite a bit of damage here. Dragon coming up in 5 more seconds. Both SF5 and ASUS Fate will be setting up for it. Azizi has the teleport available. Shady actually making his way down now. And ASUS Fate have the 5 members strong there. They are going to push on in. Azizi gonna make the recall by the needlessly large rod and make the teleport down.
Yeah, it's
right
a pincer
now.
maneuver coming out from SF5. They wanna fight here. Jinky moving very aggressively before it gets tagged.
And there we go. Jinky instantly gets chunked on in. Mio standing over the ultimate there, but Shady does get taken down as he tries to zone out as many members of the team. Flashing red health bars onto Miyu as well as Akiho. Equalizer has been popped already. The command shockwave has been used, and whoa, there we see the smite coming out on the Skullo Crab here.
Yeah, SF5 have to back off. They don't have their AD carry, so they can't contest this dragon. Very sticky situation for them to get into now.
Ooh, there we go. Gets the second dragon buff. They're gonna chase on in. Let's see who they try to collapse onto. Gets the death sentence onto Jinky. Is he gonna follow up? Uzi second guesses himself, thinks otherwise, checks himself, and makes sure he gets out of there safely.
Yeah, if he took the death sentence, it would have been certain death there. Optimus still alive to wave clear.
No longer a wondrous journey.
Yeah, definitely not a wondrous journey. Well, it is a wondrous journey to death then.
Yeah, it is.
Second dragon buff going over to ASUS Fate. Now that's the turret destruction, and that's gonna facilitate the push, fast push rotation composition that ASUS Fate can play out to.
Really use that composition, or at least the idea of what we're trying to manifest here. The fact that they can just pop on the hunt, onslaught of shadows, and just dissonance, and just kind of wreck face in between turrets.
We saw a glimpse of that in that fight where they kicked Jinky.
Yeah, they kicked
Sejuani into the fight and they blew up, and then they just kind of kited around the equalizer as
and
well as
I think they took down Optimus as oh no, they tried to take down Optimus in that team fight, but Optimus managing to survive that one as well.
These fights is going to come down to Shady trying to find Minus, using the onslaught of shadows and a devastating charge combined.
Yeah,
burst him down as much as possible and take him out of the fight, because the longer he stays in the fight, the more damage he's going to put out.
Oh, Minus very... Oh my goodness, so much damage coming out from Jinky there. I believe he even used the shockwave to turn things around.
He caught him out in the shockwave and then tried to get a solo kill with the command attack and dissonance. Very lucky that Minus managed to flash away before the dissonance connected.
Yeah. Shady here needs to ramp up in terms of damage as well, because you don't really have too many damage threats. Jinky can kind of play around with the command attack and dissonance, but that's easily telegraphed. The amount of damage over time here will be coming out in the form of Shady. He's gonna be in the middle, spinning like a top, using his rampage there, proccing those Trinity for stacks as well.
Yeah, every time he uses the rampage, it's gonna be additional procs from the Spellblade on the Sheen in the Trinity Force, and I think that's the scary part, because who are you gonna focus for ASUS Fate? If you focus the Hecarim, well, Slay
he's gonna
as well
start
as
being
Jinky,
tanky as well.
He's gonna be tanky. Slay, if you focus the Hecarim, Slay and Jinky are in the backline just dealing tons of damage, and if you try to get onto the backline, well, disengage with the onslaught of shadows on the hunt, and then they re-engage after that, and that's the scary part about ASUS Fate, the composition that they have.
In a perfect world, it's really a recipe for disaster here. At least for the side of SF5.
And SF5 doesn't really have the tools to find picks on ASUS Fate. sneaking the Baron here. SF5 have no vision. They ward over the ledge and they see this being
They're
done
gonna
by
disengage from this one though instantly here. Oh, they're gonna turn it around. On the has been popped, and there we see the equalizer being used. ZZ might get knocked back here. Shady actually taking way too much damage. Slay, very, very dangerous position. Now we will see Uzi miss the death sentence, and it is gonna be ASUS Fate on the retreat now. They will have the dissonance to actually run on in. The turret has been destroyed in the middle lane here, and they're gonna catch on to Slay now. Slay actually still surviving this one. Optimus using the Frozen Tomb on himself, jumping on in. Now the Zhonya's Hourglass. Optimus using that one. We will see the Shockwave come on in. Optimus finally gets taken down, and we will see Uzi fall as well. Only Slay in that situation. However, a huge mid lane push is coming in from Jinky and Minus. Can they get this tier 2 turret? Only Akiho is there to respond with this one. Out of Storm, definitely not enough.
Yeah, not enough. They're gonna get that turret, and at the end of the day, it's a 2-for-2 trade. Akiho coming in. Here comes the Hecarim.
Oh, Jinky coming on in. This is the Kite Master. Minus on the Callista here. Also, Shadows have already been used. Gonna jump the wall one more time. Can't really jump the ball.
Yeah, so they find 2 more kills there, or rather 3 more kills.
Yeah.
Or, oh wait, no, it was Optimus that was on respawn, so they find 2 more kills.
Jinky as well as Minus does go down in the process.
4-for-2, although SF5 get a mid lane turret, and that's gonna definitely...
4-for-1, I believe.
Oh, well, no, Akiho went down as well as Slay, so it's a 4-for-2.
Oh, right, that's true.
ASUS Fate gonna signal the open Baron here without contest. It's only Ozizi. He has the equalizer, though, so that is very scary. If they choke up in the pit, equalizer's gonna do a ton of damage there.
Oh, the knockup from the Baron actually prevents Akiho from getting the heal off. And Azizi is on a killing spree here. This is just so greedy. Coming out from the side of ASUS Fate. Everyone on the side of SF5 has respawned. Azizi picking out 1 kill. Optimus picking up the 2nd kill onto Slay. Technically, after that huge long fight, it's a 4-for-4.
Everything going alright for ASUS Fate here. The Monsoon would have provided a lot of respite for them. Unfortunately, the Baron knocking them out, deciding that this game should go to SF5 and just helping them out a bit now. SF5, they're the ones to try the Baron.
Is this a Baron trap though? We will have to find out. Shady is in the pit. Will jump into the pit with the Onslaught Shadows is available. Jinky, can you get there in time? No, you cannot. Goes to the Devastating Charges, runs away from that one. They do have the timer onto Baron though.
So they will know when the next Baron is
really
up.
just capitalizing on every single mistake of ASUS Fate, and ASUS Fate just making very poor macro decisions.
And that's the game that SF5 wants to play, the macro game, the one where if you misstep, we're gonna catch you out. Unfortunately, a couple of misplays here and there by SF5 this game. I have to say that Minus, on a whole, his itemization has not impressed me, and neither has his presence in teamfights. It has been Ozizi who has been the key centerpiece for SF5 here. His equalizers have been superb and turning very bad situations into good ones for Saigon Fantastic 5. ASUS Fate grouping up for this dragon mid lane has to be cleared out by Jinky.
Yeah. ASUS Fate looking for dragon number 3, SF5 looking for dragon number 2 now. SF5 with the Baron buff look like they can easily pick this one up. Dragon's Wrath buff now gifted to both these teams. Triforce finally completed on the side, of course, of Shady now. Jinky with the Death Cap and the Athene's Unholy Grail will be outputting quite a bit of damage. And at the same time, Slay with the Infinity Edge and the Static Shift will be a damage threat on his own.
So Mew went for the Hex Drinker. Wants to be able to find those duels against members of SF5. With the Kinder Gem though, should be a Aegis in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. Gets another Health Crystal as well. We'll be looking for the Lockout of the Iron Solari.
ASUS Fate should fight in these chokes here because they have the Onslaught of Shadows. If that hits multiple members of SF5, that's a big win. Yeah. And you can also find a great command shockwave in these small areas of traps.
I believe it does about 250 to 300 base damage. The Onslaught of Shadows, I mean, and that's just a huge AoE if you manage to land it on every single member on top of your Rampage.
Yeah, there you go. About 200 to 300 damage. 282, I believe, was the amount. It is the fear that is what you want because that causes a just massive disarray amongst the enemy. And
then the ricochets will just bounce around. You've got a shockwave that's available. A lot of deep wards though coming out from the side of SF5. This is a great push coming in here.
Teleport is available for Azizi,
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's shoving up the top wave. He has the equalizer as well. At this point, Leandris and Sword Boots completed, so a lot of magic penetration and the stasis. Azizi showing up big in this game. We have to look for Jinky though. He has to find those great shockwaves to turn the game around. Hasn't been showing up yet this game.
Waiting for the flanks from Shady as well.
Yeah, Shady.
And Mio.
Shady has to come around with the Onslaught of Shadows devastating charge, shove someone back into the ASUS Fate team and hopefully delete them before the fight even starts.
Yeah, most likely it won't be Jinky or Optimus. If you can actually catch Azizi or Minus out, that will be perfect actually. Turret goes down in the top lane, and there we go. Devastating charge coming on in. They catch onto Jinky. Jinky is the first one to go down. Actually, Jinky's still surviving that one. Managing to get away. The first one to go down will be Akiho. Shut down onto Azizi here as he teleports in with the equalizer. Yuzi will get caught out by Shady. Look at that, a rampage coming on in. The Fate's Call being used there to save the behind of the Thresh. And it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade top laner for support player, and SF5 did not manage to pick up the turret in the bottom lane.
Yeah, but they did get the turret in the top lane while Azizi was pushing, so a net gain once again. 2,000 gold ahead is SF5 just from all these great decisions that they've been making as a team. Phantom Dancer and Bloodthirster being completed from Minus now. Rather interesting variation. This is a team fight heavy build. You want the maximum amount of crit and attack damage and shield to be able to kite in and out of fights and not get one shot by members of ASUS Fate.
Which kind of makes sense because theoretically ASUS Fate here will be making the flanks, and it's almost impossible for Kalista to kind of dodge out of an onslaught of shadows, or
you
even
need the shield, you need the buffer from the
you do.
Bloodthirster. You need the attack speed from Phantom Dancer to just kite around as much as possible.
Mio here picking up the Grom now. This game is moving very trudgingly slow.
Which is something I think SF5 is very comfortable with.
Yeah, they are.
They're a team that likes these very controlled pace games. They seem so out of it in the first 10 minutes, whereas ASUS Fate were just making over-aggressive moves. And I say over-aggressive in the best sense, they took SF5 by storm, just coming in deep and doing multiple 3-man and 2-man gangs.
Yeah, unfortunately Azizi managing to kind of stymie those gangs constantly, and I think really credits to him knowing when to flash. Of course, mistakes on the part of ASUS Fate as well, but still, nevertheless, SF5 here really keeping their head above water and now just sailing the high seas and trying to destroy ASUS Fate there.
Yeah, if ASUS Fate wants to fight, this would be the best time. 3 core items being completed on the side of Orianna, whereas Optimus, his Lysandra, has not completed his death cap yet. And this is what you want to look for, the immediate power spike the Void Staff provides you, the immediate defensive spike that the Locket of the Iron Solari provides you, and the movement bonus that you can get from the Talisman of Ascension. Look at all the items that SF5 have not completed yet. This is a small window that you can make use of.
It's a very, very small window, and like I said, a wombo combo, or like most people like to say, the moment a wombo combo hits, it's gonna be fireworks, stars in your eyes, and one team's gonna come out big.
Hopefully ASUS Fate will be looking to come out big here. They group up in the mid lane. Hecarim has teleport. They can put down a bit of wards behind and look for the flank for him, but running scared is this ASUS Fate team.
Shady now rotating from the top lane down into the middle here. No wards actually coming out from ASUS Fate. This is very, very worrying. I mean,
they have 4 wards on the map and 3 of them are on their own side. 1 is around
the middle of the lane.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a high tension. Ooh, the shockwave actually landing onto Optimus. The equalizer coming on in. That was instantaneous right there. Slay nearly getting taken down. The onslaught of shadows is not enough to save Shady's life here. That's a fantastic face call into the flame now. SF5 looking to capitalize. Huge electro harpoons landing onto Akiho. Depth Sensors completely missing there. Minus now jumping in with the martial poise. Goes in with the pierce as well. The dissonance for the speed up. Jinky, Myoyu, Slay, and Akiho gets away with their life. Baron coming up in 1 second. This is going over to SF5.
Yeah, when you use a shockwave to catch one member of the enemy team, you have to, I repeat, you have to blow him up. And that instance, Optimus was still alive and they find a pick onto the jungler.
They're gonna get a pick onto Mio here. They bait the Baron. Slay and Akiho needs to get away from this one. Jinky goes back, recalls I believe, and is now sauntering forward here. They need to defend this middle lane, and this time SF5 taking the easier route, going and exiting stage right, going for the dragon now.
Yeah, big
Third
display, comedy of
dragon
errors
of
here.
the
Here comes
game.
Shady.
Whoa, Shady. You're a really, really quick horse.
Horses are normally meant to be quick.
They are.
As you may know, part of the Elmo family, some say.
Some say it's part. Not everyone say it's part of it. Okay, interesting. They're gonna jostle around Baron now. A dragon, sorry. Here we go.
Shockwave is available. Minus kiting in and out, taking a bit of damage from Dragon,
Gonna
but
pull it out.
it's completely fine because he has the lifesteal available.
He does. And the shield.
SF5 should just give this up, regroup, and bait the Baron, considering how far ahead they are.
Yeah.
1,000 gold may not be a lot, but in terms of items, they've all hit their significant threshold of power.
Yeah, and now that window has absolutely closed on the side of ASUS Fate now.
Yeah, the Void Staff for SF5 is huge on Rumble. So much magic penetration now.
Oh,
Slay might get
wow.
caught, Slay Ramp rather, might not want to stay around.
Minus with his PS there just does a chunk of damage, especially with the Bloodthirster and Last Whisper.
If he gets his Guardian's Angel, that's going to be rather scary because that means that Uzi can just leave him alone to kite if he goes down. Run back and protect him, but at this point, SF5 are the ones to make the move.
Oh, we got Elixir of Iron coming out, and then we see the Permafrost onto Mio, and Mio just not moving at all. Still surviving with the Eye of the Storm, however, the tick damage is going to come on in. The nice Zonya is coming out from Optimus. Optimus is going to get chunked down by Slay. Brambleback getting taken down here by the Saigon Fantastic 5.
Casualty of
Optimus
war.
is the only one that goes down on the side of SF5. ASUS Fate will lose both their top laner and jungler, and this will open up yet another casualty of war.
Baron himself will fall down here. Monsoon being used to heal Jinky up.
Oh.
Command attack and distance does a lot of damage, but not if you get caught like that.
Yeah, this is gonna be really, really scary. The Ricochet's jumping on in. Who's gonna get a Baron? Kalista is the one that picks it up with the red. We will see a ZZ pop his Zonyas. However, Jinky's gonna be the first one to go down. Oh my goodness, it's the triple kill coming out from the side of Jinky, but he does go down as well. And Minus the only lone member surviving on the side of Saigon Fantastic 5 here, just kiting everyone around and picking up all those kills under his belt.
Yeah, we said command attack and dissonance does a boatload of damage. In that instance, it found 3 members.
Instantly obliterating them.
Jinky went from 1-2 and 5 to 4-2 and
That
5.
was really the best case scenario for the side of ASUS Fate there, I have to say. I mean, denying Baron buff from 4 out of 5 members, they couldn't have asked for more after kind of botching several team
Denying
fights
the
there.
Baron buff alone from Azizi is the best thing you want because he's gonna be the one that's split pushing with the teleport available. And if he gets the Baron powered minion in the top lane, you have no response the moment that wave is pushing up and he forces a fight with the rest of his team.
Yeah. 37 minutes into this game. 3,000 gold separate both these teams here. SF5 against ASUS Fate. Game number 1, of course, went over SF5. And right now, ASUS Fate looking to tie things up in this best of 2 series. If you guys are just joining us, of course, this is the Garena Premier League Group Stage number 2. And this is Group B2, Match 2, Game 2.
Yeah, very long description, a bit of a mouthful, but that's how it tends to be. Oh my goodness, they
on the
popped
hunt
down the hunt.
has been popped. They try to catch onto Uzi. The depth centers will not land. Face call coming out from Minus. And Uzi just tosses himself onto the side. Optimus here will be looking for the flank. He does not go in. We will see the Glacial Prison whiff and kind of airball a little bit, hitting with the 90% slow.
Yeah, this is a small window for ASUS Fate to go in if they can find the entrance.
One ultimate down actually.
Yeah, one big ultimate down.
And
in the
face
form
call
of
as
the
well.
Glacial Prison. Now that's the one that you want to be down when you start the fight because that's what ASUS Fate needs to avoid.
Oh yeah.
In these fights, it has always been the Glacial Prison that has been stopping the engager in its tracks. And now ASUS Fate with the window, however, deciding not to take it. Bot lane, 5 members of SF5 just face tanking this turret.
Yeah, they're just gonna face tank this turret. They have Minus with the Guardian's Angel already completed, so hey, Minus doesn't need a babysitter anymore. Uzi can just go in, Fate's Call, get the play, get the death sentence, and start the initiation.
It's what you've been seeing the past few fights, throwing Minus rather throwing Uzi in, no regard for his own safety.
More
which
like
is
Uzi
fine.
throwing himself, right?
Yeah, Uzi throwing himself. More like Minus saying, "Go, I choose you," kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, Shady. Ooh, that sentence nearly landed there onto the hacker rim. This wall of attrition going on for very, very long here, Hungry Kid.
But it looks to be the SF5 is the one coming up ahead.
They are.
Slowly extending their gold lead, 1,000, 2,000, and now 4,000, rather excuse me, 5,000 gold ahead of their counterparts here. Last recall here should signal a final fight relatively soon.
No inhibitor turrets have been taken out yet, so maybe 2 more fights we might still have left in.
At 40 minutes in, the respawn timers are enough, so much so that if you pick up 2 members, it could be very well the game.
It could. It very well could. Dragon should be the next object of contention here. 3 dragon buffs going over to ASUS Fate, I believe, and only 2 on the side of Saigon Fantastic 5.
SF5 wants the third one to get the movement speed to allow them to start the fights and re-engage slightly better. Considering On The Hunt is gonna help their enemies escape, you want as much movement speed as possible to chase them.
This is a very different game, very explosive game compared to game number 1. Game number 1 is a lot about the Zeraf and Ezreal, Nidalees poking around.
Game 1 was more a battle of millimeters. This is a game of centimeters where it's okay to make a couple of small mistakes here and there, but when things happen, you have to land those clutch skills.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's gonna count now.
See. SF5 here. Just about a foot in the door to victory already. But ASUS Fate, I like how aggressive they are always. They are always the one to make the first move. And of course, if they do not make any mistakes, we might see a huge wombo combo come out from.
Though.
Yeah, it's a huge do not.
Jinky finding the flank, Slay, and the other Jinky is sticking a bit too close. You never want to bunch up your priority targets for a Glacial Prison like that.
Oh, they're actually all lining up in a line here. Both ASUS Fate and SF5 don't want to bunch up. Fate's call being used, knocks up, and there we go. The fight starts. Onslaught Shadows, great shockwave coming out. But the victors here will go over to SF5 as they start cleaning house now. It's gonna be the ace. Triple kill going over to Kalista, double kill going over to Optimus, and they will be looking to push on in and possibly even end this game.
Yeah, 50-second respawn timers are no joke at this point in time. I want to see how in that fight it was massive of Minus to just stick around and do so much DPS damage. They even popped the Guardian's Angel at that point in time. Although there was a great shockwave coming in from Jinky, there was just so much damage lacking from Slave, who had to run away considering that he got caught out early on.
There you go, we've got a huge wave down in the bottom as well. Turret number 1 goes
GGs
down.
are being called out here.
Nexus number 2 goes down, and that was just such an explosive fight. That was one of the best team fights ASUS Fate could actually ask for, and Minus actually jumps into the fountain there.
Yeah, Minus sends the claw into the fountain. GG. It's a very nice 2-0 for SF5.
Very good 2-0.
The underdogs, ASUS Fate themselves, putting up a great fight in those 2 games, but at the end of the day, the victors were the more experienced team in the league. So 3 points over to Saigon Fantastic 5, unfortunately 0 points to ASUS Fate. Take a look at your screen here, just the amount of gold being settled onto Optimus as well as Minus. These are the key components of the fight here.
Yeah, that's right. And not only that, ASUS Fate here really showing us that, you know, they have succumbed to the veteran experience of SF5, making multiple mistakes throughout the course of the game, and they just really need to level up their game. I mean, they had a very good showing in group stages in stage 1,
yeah,
and right now they just need to kind of